Just wait and see. Can't walk away, that's all it is. Don't try to tell me I'm not anything.
Good morning, gorgeous people. Happy National Women's Day and welcome to the More for Women's 2025 Women's Day celebration. I've got the session recorded. Hope it's fine with everyone. And today we're not just only celebrating women, we're also celebrating 5 fabulous years as More for Women and 5 years of beauty, 5 years of boldness and business. And we've got an action-packed program today, powerful talks from inspiring women and an interactive virtual shopping spree game with prizes to be won and plenty of music interludes. So let's keep the vibes high and you'll hear the leaders in the beauty, fashion, entrepreneurship, business, and wealth creation, each bringing wisdom, energy, and real talks to help us rise together. So let's get ready to learn, connect, shop, dance, and celebrate you because it's all about women who dream big and stand tall and shine bright. So let's get the celebration started. Our first speaker is going to be Dr. Singh. So maybe perhaps Dr. Singh, just introduce yourself to the guest, and I've got a few questions lined up for you. But in the meantime, let you introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Sonele. Good morning to everyone and all the wonderful attendees, and happy Women's Day to everyone. I'm Dr. Hema Singh, and I'm a medical aesthetic practitioner. I practice in Sunning Hill in Sandton. I'm called the sculpting queen because I do minimally invasive lipo and body sculpting with 4-dimensional teas. We do everything aesthetics, from Botox fillers, transformation inside and out, including integrative medicine. And yes, we are there for women empowerment and to help you to look your best. Thank you, Sonele.
Thank you for the introduction. So, Dr. Singh, you're the founder of the Silhouette Aesthetic Clinic, and maybe just share us like how your journey, how did you get into the world of aesthetics, and what inspired you to start your own business?
My journey into aesthetics began with a passion for helping people feel confident in their own skin. As a medical professional, I saw the impact that aesthetic treatments could have on an individual's self-esteem and overall well-being. In my experience, I found most women were frustrated with their bodies and their look, especially post-baby, and needed help to get their confidence back. That started me on the journey of research and international discovery and training, where I discovered the technique of laser lipo in Toulon in France, and then vaser lipo in Colombia and South America. Since women searched for minimally invasive but effective treatments for body sculpting and contouring. I then trained with the international specialists and brought this wonderful technique to South Africa in 2009 to offer our clients the best. And that was how Silhouette was born. And I'm now known as the sculpting queen. I founded Silhouette Aesthetics Clinic to provide a safe, welcoming place that is a home away from home, where people feel free to air their uncomfortable needs and desires, and where people could achieve their beauty goals and still feel empowered.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, no, thank you. Okay, in your own experience, how does aesthetics go beyond just physical appearance to empower women emotionally and mentally?
Aesthetics is more than just physical appearance. It is about emotional and mental well-being. At Silhouette, we focus on enhancing natural beauty while promoting integrative and holistic health. This encompasses balancing hormones, ensuring that all blood markers are at their optimal level, so that an optimum state of health can be achieved. We also do the DNA testing so that any disease markers can be addressed before it turns into an illness. And with good inner health and all your organs working efficiently, the outer physical appearance will also be optimal and aging will be retarded so that people can feel their best while they look their best. We empower women to feel confident and comfortable in their own skins. And that has a ripple effect on their lives. It's also about feeling refreshed and being the best version of yourself, which is natural without looking plastic or overdone. It's about finding a balance between enhancing beauty and embracing individuality. So an in-depth consultation is done with all patients to understand their needs and goals, and to always ensure that they achieve that with the most natural looking result as possible.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you for that insight. My next question is, what are the biggest challenges that you faced as a woman entrepreneur in the beauty industry, I guess also in your, as an aesthetic doctor?
As a female entrepreneur, I faced lots of challenges, like building trust and credibility in a competitive industry. Firstly, a female doctor of color breaking into an industry some 20 years ago, which was dominated by male Caucasian doctors in South Africa. I had to persevere by showing my worth and my skill, and not backing down when times were tough, or my path was blocked, believe that, by the associations of certain doctors who didn't want women of color to infiltrate. To overcome them, I focused on building strong relationships with my patients and staying up to date with industry developments and prioritizing exceptional customer service. My advice to aspiring entrepreneurs would be to stay true to your values, be willing to take calculated risks, and prioritize ongoing education and training. Always be ethical, and don't offer any services that don't comply with ethical standards or scientific research. There are many fads out there, and not every fad will translate into good ethical medicine.
Wow, interesting. And, you know, my background is actually in the beauty industry, and, you know, this is one of the things that one of the things I'm really passionate about, you know. And I think with the initiative Beauty with Intention, it is something that you know, the initiative that I started where we not only focus on the outer appearance when we just put on makeup, but to make sure that also we are beautiful from the inside, you know, that we are eating well, that we are, you know, maybe not fighting anxiety and depression. And then you look at me and you think, wow, she looks so beautiful, but you don't know what kind of struggles I've got, or even my health, you know, things like that. So what are the trends, the latest trends that you can tell us, you know, in technology or in just the beauty industry that you can share with us today?
So I'm excited about the latest advancements in the non-invasive treatments, like vasolipo and skin tightening technologies using ultrasound and radio frequency. There's a very big hype around advanced technology. These innovations offer effective solutions with minimal downtime, making aesthetics more accessible to a wider range of people. A very big hype now, and I'm sure everyone has heard this, is the new weight loss injection called the GLP-1 agonist, which go by different names, but the chemical ingredients are the semaglutide and the tirzepatide. And these assist weight loss by decreasing the gut motility and inhibiting appetite and emotional binge eating, which many of us are guilty of but can't control it. It has brought about a very effective weight loss, but must be administered and overseen by a medical professional, as there are many side effects and not everyone is a candidate. There are lots of fake injections out there that have hit the market, which have caused lots of serious side effects if it's not regulated. The other new groundbreaking products which we as aesthetic medical doctors use in our injectable offerings are not only the Botox and fillers, which are relatively older. The new innovators are things like biostimulators, which are injectables that assist in collagen production. This helps with sagging skin and lifts aging, crepey skin. It's a facelift in a bottle, different from Botox and fillers, and can be done on the body as well. And we use it for buttock lifting, projection, and smoothing, believe it or not. Another very big hype is a thing called polynucleotides, which the layman is being seen as salmon sperm. The Koreans say, put salmon sperm on your face. But what is it? It's actually amino acids that improve the quality of your skin and reduce wrinkles. Wonderful treatments for around the eyes to decrease the dark circles and help with skin laxity. And in aesthetics, it's in a synthetic amino acid version, not the salmon sperm. And we, as doctors, inject it. Another big thing is exosomes. Everybody's talking about exosomes. These are actually vesicles on cell membranes that are involved in intercellular communication. They modulate cell processes and immune responses. Exciting research offers treatments in regenerative medicine, which is the big go-to nowadays. And that helps with tissue repair and cancer therapy. And also, believe it or not, in the neurodegenerative neurological diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. In aesthetic medicine, it is used for skin rejuvenation. Some of these sources can be controversial because they are human exosomes also. And a lot of them are plant and animal exosomes that's currently being passed for use in South Africa. Another big innovative topic is stem cell therapy. Stem cells have the ability to differentiate into various different cells and tissues. It can be used in regenerative medicine to repair and replace tissues, which could be making new organs, making everything new. And that's where the science is going. It definitely can be used in neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and diabetes. It is controversial, though, in that it can be from embryo sources, like cord blood, or adult tissue, like fat. So lots of exciting new treatment modalities are available, which will change medicine as we know it. I don't think I would do justice to your question if I don't educate the public about what's currently happening in South Africa. So a very quick tip to the women out there that are considering foreign destinations like Turkey to undergo any aesthetic or cosmetic treatments. There's a very big hype around it. Lots of influencers are pumping for it, but be very, very cautious and very wary, as there have been multiple cases that we as doctors in South Africa are seeing of patients coming back from Turkey infected or in dire health conditions, like gangrene or embolism, and ending up in our ICUs fighting for their lives. People don't get to hear that from the influencers. So the so-called cheaper treatments are definitely more expensive when you consider the complications that arise after traveling back from these destinations. One completely heart-wrenching thing that we've also noticed, and believe this or not, is they come back without one kidney, or their organs are illegally removed under anesthetic. And we find this when the patients are complaining and are ill. Actually, the best doctors and the most innovative hospital technology and treatments are actually right here in South Africa. That's why we have a lot of international treatments that come to us. So in essence, in order to be innovative, continued education is crucial in our field. And I ensure that my team are updated through regular training, workshops, and industry events, as well as attending international congresses regularly. It's a mouthful, Samela.
Yeah, I'm just thinking now about what you just said in terms of, influencers going to Turkey or other countries to do these treatments. In a normal setting, like how long do you actually really need for the recovery process? Let's say maybe you just done a butt lift or a boob job. How long do you need to, for the recovery process? Because I understand that obviously a person goes to Turkey, maybe for 1 week, has the surgery, and then comes back because they maybe cannot stay there for a month. And then when you come home, and then there's complication, now you have to pay for another flight accommodation to go back to Turkey to do this treatment. But ideally, realistically, how long does a person go through recovery after surgery?
So generally, I always tell my patients, I don't want any flight, even if it's a flight like 1 hour from Durban to Durban or to Cape Town, within 4 weeks after surgery. Because you are very high risk for a thing called a deep venous thrombosis, called a DVT. And when you're in that flight, that DVT likelihood, especially the flights coming from Turkey, are 10 hours, and most of the time they're going via Emirates or via Qatar. So there's probably a day where they're in transit. And when they get home, a lot of them come, if not DVTs, the complication of a DVT, which is a pulmonary embolism, where the clot is now moved to the lungs. And that is a severe emergency. We've seen lots of people who've actually died on the flights and get off the flight and end up in our rooms, in the casualties, and then eventually they once you have a pulmonary embolism, if you don't get to that fast, you're asking for serious problems. So they leave their patients to come home after 5 days. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I had a patient who came to me and urgently looking for me on a Saturday afternoon, wanting my assistance. She just got off the flight and she was swollen, unwell. When we got to see her, she was completely gangrenous. And mind you, she told them about this before she left. And they said, no, don't worry, that black tissue that you see there is just black ointment. When you go home, it'll peel off. When she got here, she was gangrenous. We had to get her admitted and do a whole big debridement surgery, which obviously she didn't now plan for, so she didn't have the money to do that. She thought she was going on a shopping holiday to Turkey, have quick surgery, come home, not tell everyone, and now she had to go look for an extra 250 pay, because sometimes medical aids don't pay for these complications of cosmetic surgery, especially if it's done out of the country. And most doctors don't want to take on other doctors' complications. She can't get back onto the flight to go back to Turkey because now she's in a severe medical condition. So it's a big mess. And it's unbelievable what we are seeing.
Okay, you know what? I think we need another session for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's
we definitely need another session. Education, yeah, we need it. I think it's very important that. Okay, let's just quickly move along. Yeah, definitely we're going to have a session just for this so that you can understand, because you all want to look beautiful, but also maybe sometimes you don't actually even plastic surgery. There's technology now that, that there's no downtime. I know BTL aesthetics, they all have amazing machines. There's no downtime, so you don't have to worry about that. But also, thank you for sharing with us. Just 2 questions. I know that you're involved in a community, and maybe you can just share us what work you do in the community, and because aesthetics, silhouette aesthetics is more than just a clinic, which I love absolutely. And then also maybe just your final words to encourage the participants or the guests that are here that have joined us today.
So silhouette aesthetics is more than just a clinic. It's a community of like-minded individuals. And we support and uplift each other. We strive to create a positive impact by offering accessible, affordable treatments and promoting self-care and self-love. We also partner with local organizations to support women's empowerment initiatives and provide opportunities for women to build confidence and achieve their goals. I often partner with local organizations, which we've just done, like the Supreme Queen Global Earth Africa pageants, where I was a sponsor and a judge, and that happened last week. And it's there to empower women from various walks of life to be confident and to be entrepreneurial, and as well as lift and support each other through community-driven events. My final message would be, let's make a conscious effort to uplift and support each other. We are all women. We come from different walks of life. We can share and we can learn. But we need to do it in a good space, in a happy space, both in our personal and professional lives. Let's prioritize our self-care. Let's invest in our well-being. And let's not be afraid to seek help when we need it. We are there for each other. You are worthy of feeling confident, of being beautiful and empowered. Let's rise above the expectations and pressures that society places upon us. Let's forge our own paths to wellness, confidence, and beauty. And let's do it together as strong, supportive, and empowered women. I just want to leave our audience with 3 quotes. Self-care is like putting on your own oxygen mask. Before helping others with theirs, it is essential for survival. The journey to wellness is like a puzzle. Each piece, being self-care, support, and empowerment, fits together to create a beautiful picture. And lastly, empowerment is like a flame. It ignites within us and spreads to others, illuminating everyone's path ahead. Thank you so much, Sanele, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singh. Really appreciate you being here and the wisdom that you've shared with us today and sharing your journey. We celebrate you and keep up the good work. And I think I'm just going to play a song, as I've said, that, you know, it's a more for women experience. So we also want to, you know, celebrate each other, inspire each other. And for me, I feel that music does give it a different feel. And also that's what makes us special, you know, separate from any other Zoom or meetings that maybe we've attended before. So I'll just play a brief song and then we'll be back just now.
Staring at the stop sign, watching people drive by, T-Mac on the radio. Got so much on your mind, nothing's really going right, looking for a ray of hope. Whatever it is you may be going through, I know he's not gonna let it get the best of you. You're an overcomer. Stay in the fight till the final round. You're not going under, 'cause God is holding you right now. You might be down for a moment, feeling like it's hopeless. That's when he reminds you that you're an overcomer. You're an overcomer. Everybody's been down, hit the bottom, hit the ground. Ooh, you're not alone. Just take a breath, don't forget, hang on to his promises. He wants you to know you're an overcomer. Stay in the fight till the final round. You're not going under, 'cause God is holding you right now. You might be down for a moment, feeling like it's hopeless. That's when he reminds you that you're an overcomer. You're an overcomer. The same and the greater and the one who overcame death is living inside you. So just hold tight, fix your eyes on the one who holds your life. There's nothing he can't do. He's telling you.
Okay, I hope you were inspired. That is actually Mandisa, And the name of the song is Overcomer, which I think is quite interesting that the name is Mandisa. So she clearly has a South African background because she's currently in the US, but her name is Mandisa. And so the next speaker is Adila. Adila, please also introduce yourself. And actually, you've got a presentation for us, or you speaking? Yeah, you're just speaking and inspiring us. So we may take away. Thank you. Take it away.
Super stuff. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Happy Women's Day to all of you, and of course also to More for Women celebrating their 5th year. You know, in the running, may they go strong and keep it going. And thank you so much to Sanele for hosting this event. And yes, it is an absolute honor to be walking this journey in time and space with all the people present here today, and with everybody we're going to share this webinar with, I assume, a bit later. So the topic that I was asked to touch on today is not only a timely topic, but it's a timeless topic. And it's, of course, the topic of healing, of communication and inclusive leadership. So before I will get to my introduction, let me just share with you my thoughts on these particular items. So when it comes to healing, of course, healing is the first step in leadership. Now, why do I say that? If we think back today in 1956, 20,000 plus women were marching to the Union buildings for the emancipation and the liberation of South Africa, right? So those were leaders, the female leaders of the time. So we've got to understand what it took of them and how much the leadership has shifted from where they were to who we are today. But let us reflect for a minute on the intergenerational trauma, scars, and pain that is still within many people today, right? So we can understand, if we look at that, we have to be able to walk the path of healing. We must be willing to be fortified through the fire to get to the other side. That means healing it's not a soft process. It's not a soft word. It sounds soft, but the actual process of healing is very radical, right? And it's a very courageous act of choosing to go through that processes where you're going to be addressing, you're going to go uncover the uncomfortable, the unseen, the unheard, right? And the pain that you've lived through, right? Because what is the purpose of the pain if you cannot discover the wisdom within that wound? Because that's the purpose of the experiences that we've been through. So when we can discover the gift inside of that hurt, that is when we can really start to evolve to a higher state of consciousness, right? So it's very, very important that we must understand when we choose to go on the path of healing, it involves being, first of all, you have to have the desire. You must want to heal your life. You must want to be better and do better. So foster that desire that you want to heal. It is going to involve, of course, the expression of suppressed emotions that you've held on for donkey years, right? Things you haven't spoken about to anybody. So it is going to be the expression of suppressed emotions, and we must understand in that, of course, it is the release of those chemicals, those toxic chemicals that have been stored, because when I think a certain way, my thoughts, my brain then secretes a chemical, and it means the chemical lodges in the body, and you feel a certain way, now your body feels exactly how you're thinking. It's that loop effect, right? So you've got to be able to say, I'm going to express, kick, scream, shout in the safety of a therapist's room, where you let go, where the body also releases those toxic chemicals stored on a cellular level. And very important in the healing process, and this is crucial, as is all the other steps, is you've got to change the meaning of the experience. Because if you're going to focus on the pain, you will stay stuck on the pain. If you want to turn your pain into power, you've got to go and say, what did this experience teach me? What is the wisdom? What am I supposed to learn from this? And you'll always find that your biggest teacher are the people that have hurt you the most. So when you can uncover the gift out of that pain, you can extract the diamond out of there, the wound out, the wisdom out of the wound. That is when the meaning of the experience changes, and your output then changes, right? So it's very, very important that I've got to understand when it comes to healing and leadership, we've got to be able to say to ourselves, am I a wounded person? Am I coming from a place of woundedness? Because then you must understand, if you have unhealed wounds, you will be leading as a wounded leader, right? So we've got to take responsibility. And of course, healing involves, like I always tell my patients as well, is if you can feel it, you can heal it, right? And that means, of course, also we've got to start with ourselves. If we want to lead others, I must be able to lead myself first. And again, I go back to taking personal responsibility for your health and your well-being, right? Because also what happens when we go through the processes of healing, we are able to have compassion, to have mercy, to have kindness and gentleness with ourselves. Because that's part of the process, is to come to that place of self-love, self-compassion. And when you have that, you automatically will have more compassion, mercy, kindness, and empathy with the next person. And that is truly where inclusivity then starts, because then you start realizing, I'm not the only one, right? So you come closer to that oneness of the universe and the people around us. So the next item, of course, is talking about communication. Now, if we talk about communication, we've got to realize communication is not just the words that we use, but it's truly how we relate to other people, right? Whether it is your tone of voice, your behavior, the glance, how you use your eyes, we cannot not communicate. You know, people communicate all of the time, even if they don't say a word. You just have to know what to look for, be observant. But communication, a key component of communication, other than the body language and the gaze in the eye or the tone of voice and so forth, is of course the concept of being able to listen. Listen attentively. Seek to understand. We call it active listening or empathetic listening. Decode what the person is going through. And try to seek to understand their internal state. So listen for facts and feelings, not just the words, right? So we've got to understand that the women of the past, obviously, there was a fight for women throughout the ages to have a voice in the boardroom, to have a voice at home, to have a voice in politics. But today we have that. We have achieved a lot of that. Now it is not to have a louder voice, but it's to include more voices. It's to bring more people in, give more women a voice. And to have inclusive leadership, of course, it also means being able to then, of course, ask who is not in the room, or who is in the room, but they feel excluded, right? And whose story has not been heard. So further to that is also to be able to have the courage, because part of communication and part of leadership, you must be able to stand for truth and for justice, and also stand up for other people that may not have that ability, that may not be at that place yet, that is still working to get there. So together we can lift each other up, but we must come from that place of true leadership, humility, humbleness, and not from a place of ego. It comes from a place of emotional maturity. And it all comes part and partial, going through, being fortified through the fire, going through the healing, learning how to communicate, seeking to understand, right? So then, of course, coming to the topic of inclusive leadership, it's not just a buzzword, right? We've got to move beyond the buzzword, because it's not just being diverse, having all the tick boxes met. It's the, I've got diversity of color, creed, religion. It's got a lot to do with your daily decision making. In other words, does everybody feel included? Are they heard? Are they respected? Do they feel they belong? Are they valued? Right? So the consultative process, of course, in talking about inclusive leadership, you've got to be curious. You've got to ask questions before you draw conclusions. So ask questions to your team. Be inclusive. Involve them. Get their thoughts. Get their ideas. You don't know everything, right? Then, of course, it's got to be compassionate. Seek to understand where they are coming from. Challenge your own perspective. Visit the other person's perspective. You may not agree with them, but seek to understand their reality and where they're coming from. And of course, very important, is to have the courage to be able to apologize or take responsibility for where you go wrong. And that, for many leaders, is where the ego steps in. Because I know it all, I don't make mistakes, you follow me, right? And the ego is really a great barrier for many people. So before I go into that, let me also just touch on the fact that we've got to be teachable as leaders. Because like I said a little bit earlier, I don't know everything. You don't know everything. But together, if we share our knowledge, if we're open to learn and be open to receive and we're open to exchange what we know, we really can create a wonderful consciousness of leadership all around. But we must let go of the ego, I know it all, I'm better, and so forth, and be open to learn, right? So lastly, I will also say into this, being teachable, we've got to understand it's not a weakness. It's not an inferior place when you say, let me learn from this person, right? It doesn't make you less of a person. It actually makes you more, because you're open. You're opening yourself up to that consciousness of leadership that's out there that each and every other person has inside of them. So you've got to be teachable as a leader, and in that, or not just as a leader, as any person. Open yourself up to knowledge that other people hold. And of course, be able to learn from younger people, our Gen Zs that are coming with these amazing insights. Of course, also it means being able to receive feedback, whether it's positive or negative criticism, and don't see it as a threat, but see it as a gift of, where can I do better? Where can I improve myself? And of course, it also means that, like I said, I don't know everything. So be open. So where to from here? Where to from here is, first of all, be willing to undergo the process of healing, foster the desire to heal, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Be open to learn. It also means use your voice wisely. The words, the letters that spell words also spell swords. So use your words wisely, because you can cut a person, you can hurt a person with your words. Be careful how you use your words. Speak up for others, speak up for yourself, be courageous. Speak life. Don't just blabber, don't just speak noise. Speak sense. Use your words wisely. And of course, speak good. If you don't have anything good to say about another person, keep quiet. Don't hurt people. Just watch out for your words. And of course, lead inclusively. Ask who is not here, who should be here, and who is here but they don't feel heard. And how can I be better? So before I end off today, I will briefly introduce myself. I'm a traditional doctor in ethnopsychology. I specialize in hypnotherapy, NLP, neurosemantics. I'm a life, business, and relationship coach. And I'm now venturing into group workshops and group facilitation. Please do look out for the mini workshop that is upcoming on the 27th of September. It's an immersive workshop in neuroscience and hypnotherapy, where you will uncover and learn how your brain actually formed certain patterns and beliefs, why you are who you are, and how do we rewire that? How do we start changing that? And you will also experience a group hypnotherapy session, which will give you a taster of what this healing process really all involves. And of course, this 3.5 hour workshop is then followed up by a 2.5 day retreat, which will be about a month or so afterwards. So yes, that is me in a nutshell. To leave yourselves today, I would like to leave with a couple of thoughts and a couple of final words. Is lead with good character, lead with your heart, purify your soul, look at your ego, become aware of your ego. When is your ego standing in the way of true leadership? Where you are, like I said earlier, if you don't want to be teachable, why don't you want to be teachable? Because you're arrogant. So can you lead from arrogance truly? You may. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be very liked because people are going to say this person is leading from a place of arrogance. So leadership has got a lot to do to lowering that pride, to become aware. I always say it's this wild horse within. You've got to tame that horse. You've got to be so self-aware of that ego inside of you that causes you to either feel, you know, a lot of people that suffer with arrogance really sit with great inferiority. And that's where, again, we've got to say, where does this inferiority come from? It comes from woundedness. So it's all linked. So be willing to learn, be willing to heal, overcome your ego, right? So if we are going to move forward, let us shine our light and let us allow others to also let their light shine. Let us move forward with hearts willing and wanting healing. Let us use our word wisely, and let us move forward with inclusive spirits. I thank you. Thank you, Sanele. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. And Adil, I'm just amazed with the caliber of women that I'm surrounded with, so much knowledge. And it's really incredible. You know, I had a few questions, but you actually kind of answered them. But, you know, maybe just one, all right? In terms of your ego, arrogance, and pride, are those the same thing or they're different? Ego, arrogance, pride.
Well, your ego is made up of different components. You know, there's various things with regards to the ego. It is really a part of yourself that you've got to become aware of. Ego is not just being egotistical. You know, it is your ego that we can also refer it to as the baser desires of the soul, where it is, you know, I need to, you know, you become frantically involved in overindulging in certain things, you know, because the ego wants you to lock out of spirit. It's really got a lot to do with the lower desires, and to get locked into that, where you become obsessive about the material world and the material things. So it's very important to have that balance. So ego is not just about being filled with pride or arrogance and being egotistical. It's one part of it, but your ego itself, it's more complex than just arrogance or pride, if that answers your question.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, it does.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will take some questions a bit later, but I think let's move on because time is not against against us. Let me see. I think the next. When I also play the song, I also go and check the problem. Who's next? Shit.
I attract, let the energy flow like a queen on her throne. I already know I'm the spark, the flame, the fire in their eyes. They reach, they crave, but I am the prize. Intelligent, sharp like the edge of a blade. Every move I make is a power play. Grace in my stride, wisdom in my mind. I've built the kind of life I dreamed I'd find. I've become a woman I look up to, strong and untouchable. It's what I do, radiating power, confidence so high. I'm not just living, I'm learning to fly. Men may desire, but I define me. Unstoppable force, wild and free. I've become the woman I look up to, and I'm loving every shade of truth. Every scar, every tear, carve me into gold. Turn my fears into stories untold. I exude power like the stars at night, a beacon of strength and an unstoppable light. I don't bend for love. I stand tall in my glow. The respect I demand is the respect they show. I've risen above what I once left behind, becoming the hero I hoped I'd find.
Okay, our next speaker is Sue. Welcome, Sue. Hello, hi.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. I didn't think it was
Hi.
me so soon. How's everybody? I hope everybody is well. Let me just share something very quickly. Over the years, I've always said that when people say, oh, Dr. Singh has said everything that I wanted to say. I've always been the first person to roll my eyes and saying, oh my goodness, really, there should be something that you really want to say. Somebody can't be taking all your words, but that is exactly what Adela has just done to me. Every word that was just coming from her, I'm like, oh my God. So I suppose from today, I will stop judging all those people who say, this person stole my words, this person is saying exactly what my heart feels. Because, wow, everything that Attila said, I felt like saying, yeah.
So thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Such an honor and a privilege to be here. Thank you so much for all the nuggets that we've received this morning. Dr. Singh, I must say, I'm definitely coming for my own session. I'm so excited. I just thought, let me just attend all the sessions, Oh, little did I know that I'd be so empowered. Little did I know that I would actually think, okay, maybe I do need a hypnotherapy. Oh, thank you so much, Sanele, for having us this morning. It's such an honor and a privilege. So my topic today is beauty with purpose. Just to really talk about what this beauty is all about. And I just could not stop thinking for the past 2 days and this morning as well, just when after having my press session, that really we cannot live up to experience the best or holistic beauty without understanding who we are. And the question would be that, if your name is really not Usanele, and you are given this podium or platform to say, who are you? Do we have the capability of explaining or expressing ourselves exactly? Who are we? Who are you? What is your purpose in this life? What is it that you've been called to do? Surely I keep saying, it can't be that we are born and we are here just to pay the debts, go to work, come back. Surely there should be great substance. We've been called for a greater purpose. And today, really, I want to focus on that. I've just timed myself so that I don't go over my 15 minutes to say really, who are you, Sanele? If you didn't have this name, if you didn't have the title of being a wife, if you were not the one hosting us today, do we know exactly who we are? Do we understand our values and our principles? Do we stand for truly what we believe in? And really, if we don't know who we are, circumstances around us will define who we are. The circumstances around us will determine how we behave or maybe how we express ourselves on our daily basis, because we are not so in sync or in alignment with our values, with who we are, with what we stand for, and so forth. And therefore, ultimately, we may not be able to express that beauty that we talk about. Dr. Singh spoke very well and said that, beauty is not just about all these aesthetics, but we do love them, Dr. Singh. I want them. I'm coming. She really said that, this beauty is holistic. And I loved what Adelia said earlier on, and which is truly in my heart, to say that, You cannot necessarily extend kindness to the next person if you have not even forgiven yourself. Maybe first of all, if you have not forgiven the things or the circumstances or the people that are around you, you will consistently be a better person. You will consistently look for something from other people which is ugly. You know, there's so many people who see the negative always in everything and in everybody first before they can say, oh yeah, but after all, it is good. But their perception. So what am I saying today is that I pray and I hope that we as women would take the time and really take time for self-introspection. And we cannot truly, like Adelia also mentioned earlier on, to say that you cannot authentically lead others, especially if you can't lead yourself. It first starts with yourself. It starts with self-awareness. It's so important for us to be self-aware, to be self-regulated, so that we'll be able to live and express ourselves in the most holistic and better way to the community out there. And now that I'm saying this, I'm just thinking of the conversation that I had yesterday to say that, especially in times and days like this, we always say, good, yeah, women empowerment, women, we are together, sisterhood, me and Dr. Singh, we are together. However, in reality, we are the ones that cause the most conflict with each other. It's like somehow we say this one thing, but when it comes to intention or maybe what we do or how we behave, we won't go out and intentionally hurt a man. And those are the people that, it's supposed to be vice versa. But we hurt each other most as women. But we will come out and say, yeah, viva sisterhood, viva women, we are together. Yet we are so, and I've come to realize that sometimes the reason why women hate each other so much, it's not maybe because of too many other factors. It's because sometimes women truly don't know who they are. They've gotten to a point where they've carried so many hats that they're a mother, they are a wife, they are this, they are busy at church, they are busy in the community. You're so cluttered that the one thing that maybe you ought to know or understand is about yourself is the one thing that you truly do not know. Or the one thing that you're supposed to do for yourself, maybe take the time to heal from the wounds, childhood traumas. When we think about childhood traumas, really most of them, they were not our fault. We will find ourselves in those circumstances, but we cannot really dwell in those forever. When you realize that, oh, that thing hurt me. This thing is what is making me behave like this. Oh, something that took place 20 years can still be affecting you or maybe even defining you as an adult that you currently are. So I think today, from my side, my message is, I wish for us, if we have not taken the time or made the exercise, or maybe even if we have forgotten, to really take the time and sit and say, Kamampela, in this day and age, who am I truly? Without all these hats, without all these titles, without all the blessings that I've been giving, without all these material things that I have, who am I truly? What is my purpose in this life? What is it that I've been called to do? What impact am I to do in this life? And which lives have God given me to impact so that generations can be better? And what role is it that I'm supposed to play in this life so my beauty can be well defined? Beauty, physical beauty, is truly not enough, and we know that. After this meeting, our lipsticks will be gone and everything. But you feel contentment when you know what your heart is pure. You feel contentment when you feel good, your heart is pure. You can actually go out and say, it's all is well. All is well when you know what you've made peace in your heart. And when you know what your heart is sincere, It's so sad that sometimes as women, we can just wake up and intentionally say, yeah, I'm going for Dr. Singh. She will know me today. She will know who I am. I'm going to deal with that. You know, the intention, the things that, you know, the build up that is, it is, yes, maybe there are battles that we need to fight sometimes. I'm one of those that is so expressive. But as we grow older, as you heal, as you take time to do self-introspection, as you take time to be self-aware, you truly realize that, man, other battles are not even for us. There are those things that are just there in life. It's not every battle that we need to find. And then you just see your life radiates. You just see yourself holistically beautiful. You just see yourself really loving and connecting with people better because your heart is in a better place. So beauty with purpose is so important. Physical beauty, it's a cherry on top, so I'd like to think. But oh my goodness, if we need to take time to say, okay, this uncle did this to me, this person said those words, if I was raped, those things have happened, and oh my goodness, they're so painful, but they cannot define our tomorrow. If you need help as a woman, let's go to Adelia. Let's go for healing. Let us go and go to our local pastors so that we tell them, good, I'm scared, I'm bitter. I can't even see beauty in other people because of the scar that is in me. Seek help where it is needed. And therefore, our beauty will truly radiate and shine. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Sue. That was really inspiring. I'm actually liking how the conversation is like flowing, you know, together. You know, God obviously designed this state so that we can meet like this, but I like the fact that it's flowing into each other and that we are all, you know, we're talking about the same thing, because in order for us to be the best versions of ourselves, really, we have to take care of ourselves mentally, we have to take care of ourselves physically, and we need to be able to communicate with each other, you know, respect each other. So I'm just loving how this whole conversation is flowing. I really appreciate you being here and sharing the wisdom with us. And, you know, the next one, obviously, I'm going to play this song before our next speaker, which is going to be Deborah. So Deborah, just ready, because this song I'm only going to play 30 seconds.
I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I'm creative, honey, you can get in line. I am feminine, I am masculine, I am anything I want. I can teach you, I can love you.
Deborah, are you there? No, she's here.
I'm here.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, you can just also introduce yourself, and you can take over the program. Thank you.
All right. My apologies. I think my network is just becomes unstable when I switch on the camera. My name is Deborah. I am a general manager at More for Women. I'm also a fashion designer. I'm also a creative director. I'm also a curator. So I'm a whole lot of things. And just listening to the song that just played now, it just spoke about a woman as she's so many things that she can express herself in so many ways. And that's what fashion is about. It allows us as women to express ourselves. You're feeling, you want to feel sexy, you've got a garment that you can wear that can make you pull out that sexiness about you. You want to feel confident. You're coming into a board meeting. You want to feel good about yourself. You take a piece of garment, and that when you put it on, it gives you that confidence in how you feel about yourself. When you're looking at yourself in the mirror, of course, makeup comes a long way. And of course, your hair comes a long way. and you want to look beautiful, you want to look together, you want to look, so you express yourself using fashion. And fashion is a very, very, very a big market in a sense that it has got a lot of contribution in terms of how the world is actually evolving. Everything is focusing on fashion, so there's a lot of money to be made out of it. At the same time, there's a lot of it contributing to the growth of the GDP of any nation, you know, globally, and that is that it has a lot of impact in how people view fashion. So there's so many things that we can get out of it, you know, for ourselves as women. And I'm looking at some of the things that the fashion will bring in terms of community, you know, uplifting each other, you know, through that. There's so many things now that people are looking at the way that the fashion has affected, you know, the carbon emissions. So people are more looking at sustainability, and that has created communities because women are now, if you're going for an event, for example, you know that, you know, it's a very special event, but you don't have a garment for it. But you know that there is a space where you can go in, get a garment, and you're going to look good in that garment and take it back. But you know that there's a community of women where we can come together, swap clothes, because I mean, you can't wear this anymore, but you know that somebody else needs it, and you swap clothes, you do that. So it creates some sort of togetherness within the space of people. And also, you know that there is a place where if you're looking for something really unique that you can't find anywhere, you can go to vintage stores. You find clothes that people have been using a long time ago. They're still in a great condition because the way that they were made to last. And you can get that for yourself, and you express yourself in that because you're appreciating what perhaps our grandmothers were wearing at the time. So you want to put it out there. So it's fashion is quite broad, and it's very exciting. And I think it's where we can also use fashion to uplift each other. You know, you're going to, for example, a meeting, and I'll say you're going out as girls, and you come together, and before you go out, you're coming together, you dress up, it's an exciting moment, and you're doing all of that. It comes with wedding, it comes with every event. So fashion is always part of people where they are gathered together and they are doing something for each other, to make nice, to make beautiful, to enjoy. So I've seen fashion doing that. Yes, there's a negative side, but the negative side is not important right now. But looking at it in that way would actually makes it easier for people to connect with each other, because I'll say, for example, you're walking on the street and someone is looking at you and seeing how wonderfully you're dressed, and they compliment you. And sometimes inside, you're not feeling like you're wearing the best or you are the best at the time. But that's just one compliment from somebody who's seeing something that they like that you're wearing. You know, it uplifts your mood. It just makes you feel good about yourself or even where you're going. So it makes a person's day worthwhile. And you know, also looking at the grassroots level, we have a role to play in, I would say, in the skills development as well. A lot of women would be doing a lot of things to make their clothing look beautiful. Let's say, for example, you have a skill. You can crochet, you can make beads, you can do sort of things. So those little things that you can do are actually part of what could contribute to creating businesses for people, because you can make money out of it for yourself, it can generate an income, put food on the table to sustain families. That means that, you know, the families that are being led by women, and they're able to support their families through the crafts, through the skills, through the work that they do. But then creating a platform where they're able to have a sense of that I can sell this. There is a market for me to sell this. And I think that's where More for Women comes in as well, is that we create space where, you know, people can be able to grow their businesses through having a space where they can sell their products, you know. So that I feel that fashion plays a major role in a lot of places that we as women can find ourselves growing. We can grow in terms of growing our businesses, but also in how we communicate with each other, how we connect with each other, how we also improve each other's mood, how we also support each other. When we're attending meetings, when we're doing all that, we also have clothing. And that's also part of who we are. So I see fashion as a lot that it has for women generally, and how we see each other, how we grow from it, and how it also connects with each other. So let me just see if I can be able to show my face quickly.
Well, thank you, Deborah. And, you know, I just wrote on the chat that fashion is a form of expression. And, you know, listening to what you're saying, and in terms of what fashion also being a way to celebrate, because I don't know if most of you know that I was in the Mrs. South Africa pageant. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to the finals. But when I was talking to my daughter, you know, just preparing her in case, you know, obviously she believes that I'm going to win. So we're having a discussion, and then, you know, I told her, I said, no, because she's like, oh, you're going to win. And so I told her, you know, like, actually not, I might not win, you know, like there only is one winner and it's a competition. So maybe I might not win this time, but I definitely enter again. And she said, oh no, Mom, you know what? But at least you got to wear beautiful clothes and put on nice makeup. I mean, she's 10 years old, but she understands that sometimes, you know, having to dress up, you know, having to look beautiful, you know, it's important, because I know for myself, like if I don't dress up for a couple of days, and, you know, maybe I don't have an event or fashion to go to, I start feeling down, and I start watching the housewives. At least then I can feel like I'm part of them. But otherwise, without that, I really feel like I'm starting to lose myself, because then you get caught up in terms of doing work, and then also being a mother, and then, you know, so you just get up and everything is moving, and you don't have your me time. And I really did believe, like, when you're putting on makeup, it's self-care. You know, when you're changing which outfits to put on, you know, you're going to meet up with your friends, that is part of self-care. So I think, Deborah, you definitely right spot on there. And I love also you talking about sustainability, which is something that is now fashion is moving into, where people that are buying the fashion are, you know, looking in terms of how is it made, and, you know, who is it benefiting. And, you know, one of the things also that I can say, that when also in the pageant, I realized that most people were buying clothes from Shein, from Temu. Yes, it is nice, but, you know, how about also showcasing our own South African designers? So my sponsor was the South African fashion designers, and I was wearing her clothing throughout the pageant. But you're thinking, like, it's 100 ladies. Imagine if you all were wearing South African designers while we're going through this journey, and how much jobs could be created. I mean, we're living in a country where there's so much unemployment. We have to work with each other to make that change. So supporting each other, you know, in terms of, you know, fashion design, supporting each other in terms of, you know, makeup. When we rise, and today was one of my slogans, that we rise, when women rise, we rise together. Because when I'm on the platform, I'm not only just standing there by myself, I'm representing a lot of other women that are supporting me, you know, in this journey. And I think it's very important that we continue to do that. And okay, the next speaker is going to be, is it? Coach Mandy. But before that, as we obviously want to be inspired, and maybe also it's a chance to drink some water. I think the song is 2 minutes, so maybe we can also use that opportunity just to get us a short break, right?
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass and I'm homebound. Staring blankly ahead, just making my way through the crowd. And I need you, and I miss you, and now I wonder if I could fall into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by? 'Cause you know I'd walk 1,000 miles if I could just see you tonight.
Okay, our next speaker is Dr. Amanda Mbanga. And hello, good afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? No, it's still morning. Good morning. Please introduce yourself, and you can just share with us the words of inspiration that you have for us today.
Awesomeness. What a beautiful morning. Thank you so much. I hope I am audible enough and you can all hear me. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for this beautiful platform that we have here because of you, Sanele. I felt like with every woman that was speaking, hey, I needed to be here to listen to you and to connect with you. And I really hope that after this meeting today, we will be able to connect. And yeah, once again, I'd also like to just give God the glory for allowing me the opportunity as well to share amongst beautiful, awesome women. And I listen to each and every one of you. Dr. Singh, thank you so much for the words of wisdom that you shared earlier. And also my sisters, Sue, all of you. And Adila, I remember when you started speaking, I was like, yo, you threw so many nuggets. And one of the nuggets took me back to one of my quotes that I like to quote a lot, that if we can be intentionally kind with one another, we will be able to cultivate healthy environments. And people who know me that I'm big with quotes, and I love quotes and I love quoting people, and I've already quoted you and actually spread that word in the social media platforms as well, that one of the things that resonates with me the most is healing, because I'm a healing coach. I'm very big on healing, and I always tell people that I'm healed to heal others, and that if we can all heal, we'll have a better world and a better places to work and live from. And one of the quotes as well that came into my mind as we're speaking, and all these quotes just kept coming back to me, and one of them was that if I was not constantly hurt and wounded and broken, I wouldn't value healing today. I value healing so much. So it's one of the things that deeply resonated with me as you were speaking, because you were touching a lot on healing. And I also think my sister Sue as well touched a lot on that when she was talking about beauty for a purpose, that you need to heal, because your perception, your perspective of life and things and people comes from the place that you are operating from, which is our heart. Most of the time we respond to things from from our heart, from our emotions and so forth. So without wasting time, let me just introduce myself a little bit, just to give you a little bit of a background about me and who I am and what I do. I am Amanda, or Dr. Amanda Mbanga. I don't like titles, sorry about that. Dr. Amanda Mbanga, but affectionately known as Coach Mandy. In the social platforms and everywhere else. I'm a life coach. Professionally, I've been in the field for 15 years now, practicing as a coach, doing personal development, business development, leadership development, as well as ministry as well. I've been in ministry for a while now, since 2009. As an evangelist, I've actually walked the journey of the fivefold ministry. And yeah, I'm a businesswoman. I love business with all my heart and soul. I've been in business for a while with 20 years experience in network marketing. I recently this year started my own network marketing company through Amal Cosmetics, which is a cosmetic company. We design and manufacture fragrance, and that's what I do. And by the grace of God, in the last few months, God has blessed me with over 100 agents who are out there doing business. We are empowering them, we are motivating them, we are helping them build a solid income for themselves. So yeah, thank you so much for this platform. Let me speak on the topic that I was given. Oh, it's a lot, so I don't know if I'll be able to cover everything in 15 minutes. I was just praying, say, oh, so help me God. Help me God. So from passion to profit, I believe that's the topic that my sister gave me to touch on. Obviously, won't be enough for me, especially for someone who likes talking, because I love talking. And yeah, building a business with intention, overcoming fear, and taking action. And as I was meditating on this topic, a scripture for me came into mind. I live by the scripture. I live by the word of God. I'm guided by the word of God. The word of God for me is my food, is my daily. I eat, I sleep, I dream. I see the word coming to life in my own life as well. So even if I don't fulfill the purpose that you wanted me to fulfill today, Sanele, on this topic, but let me just share what came into my mind as I was trying to sum up everything that you have given me to speak on. And I'd love to share from the book of James chapter 2, verse 14 to 16. I'll just take a few extracts from that passage, and which is something that came to me so heavy to share this morning on our platform here. And I'm reading from the Amplified Bible. But before I go into the verse, I just highlighted two words from the topic you gave me: passion and fear. And to me, these two words are not related to one another, but they are like the opposite of each other: passion and fear. Passion is a strong, and just from a very simple Oxford Dictionary definition, what is passion? Passion is a strong and barely controllable emotion. And now you talk about fear. I like that when I actually, because when someone gives me a topic, the first thing that I normally do if I'm going to speak, I like to go and find a very simple definition of what that word means, so that we speak from a place of a deeper understanding, not just words. Using words. I don't like to use words lightly or carelessly, but I like to use words with meaning and a purpose. So when I looked at passion, and it said that passion is a strong and barely controllable emotion, and also the other second definition that came after that, it said that it is the suffering and death of Jesus Christ. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I love that. And fear as well. I also looked at fear, and the Oxford basic definition said fear, actually, this one I came up with, this is the false evidence appearing real. So if I can just get this message across to people, and then we will all understand that we are destined for greatness and we are born to win. And if for you to win and for you to rise up to the greatness that God has called you for, there are certain things that you need to overcome, which one of them is fear. And it's so easy to overcome fear because people think, ooh, fear is this big Goliath, is this big thing that is scary. No, fear is actually nothing. It is just false evidence. It's just something that is appearing, to be real to you, but it's actually nothing. I always tell people that I don't fear anything. I only fear God. In my life, I don't fear failure. I don't know how many times I've failed. If anything, I think that's the most thing that I've done in my life, failing. I've failed at a lot of things. If you're talking marriage, I've failed. If you're talking businesses, I've failed. If you're talking anything, the only thing that I know I will never fail at is to acknowledge God and to honor God and to love God. Because I love God. You can take everything away from me. As long as you don't take God, I don't mind. I can live life and live it to the fullest. So once again, let's just go back very quickly. I've just highlighted 2 or 3 verses here that to me were speaking on this topic as I was meditating on it. On James chapter 2, verse 14 to 26, it says, "What is the benefit, my fellow believers, if someone claims to have faith but has no good works?" And I want us to underline the word good works, not just works. These are good works as evidence. Can that kind of faith save him? No, a mere claim of faith is not sufficient. Genuine faith produces good works. Genuine faith produces good works. So I like again to just go to, I think it's verse 15, the following verse. It says, "If a brother or a sister is without adequate clothing and lacks enough food for each day, and one of you says to them, 'Go in peace with my blessing, keep warm and feed yourselves,' but he does not give them the necessities for the body, what good does that do?" What good does that do? And then let's go to verse 17. It says, "So too, faith, if it does not have works to back it up, it is by itself dead. It's inoperative and it's ineffective." One of the books that I like to share a lot, especially with my teams, we've all heard, or we might know of the book that says 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by John Maxwell. But there is another book that I like and I share it a lot. It says 7 Habits of Highly Ineffective People. So I like that part there on verse 17, and those are the 2 words I'd like to dwell in: inoperative and ineffective, because the scripture was fulfilled because of it. Says in verse 23, on the last verse, if you go down that passage, please in your own time, just go through that scripture, just go through that passage, meditate, and I pray that the words that are written here will bring substance to you and a better and a deeper understanding than I can iterate from my perspective. But on verse 23, it says, "And scripture was fulfilled." So if pain for me personally did not constantly visit my life, there are so many things like healing. I wouldn't value healing today. I wouldn't even know why I needed to heal. I wouldn't know why it's important for me to be healed in order to help the next person heal. Because I like also what you said, my sister Sue, there, that a lot of people, broken people break others. If you speak from a place of brokenness, you don't even have to tell us that you are broken. It shows. It's very visible. So healing for me is one of the most important things. I know that I'm asked to talk about business and building business. So this is one of the things as well that helped me to build today a profitable business. It is because I had to look within me. What is it that I've been doing wrong in my life? I have done so many businesses. I have failed a lot of times. I had to sit back and look at myself. I like what you touched on leadership as well. One of the things that resonates deeply with me about leadership is that as a leader, there is a difference between a boss and a leader. A leader is someone that is able to bring leadership in other people, to bring up leaders in others. And as a leader, when we learn to lead from behind, we will be able to achieve greatness in this life. So I believe that as a leader, you are not someone that is there to tell people what to do. But as a leader, you are someone that is there to show people how it's supposed to be done through your works, not just your words. So for me, even this word and what it says, it resonates a lot with me, because I realized that one of the things I'm most passionate about is people. One of the things I am most passionate about is helping someone better their lives, is helping someone or bring a change, even if it's little change in somebody's life. And through that passion, I understood that there are certain traits, character traits and qualities that I need to possess myself as a leader. One of them was healing myself, was overcoming all these things that I had been faced with before. Fear of the unknown, fear of starting. I'll make an example with this business. It's the most successful business that I've ever done out of all the businesses I've done before, where I invested a lot of money, capital upfront, where I had invested a lot of resources and things like that to build a business. This one that was built with nothing, literally, I didn't even have a cent in my pocket to start the business, but I had passion for it. I had the vision for it, that God gave it to me and how it's going to be done. I remember when God was telling me beginning of this year, start, I was so frustrated. I was down and out. I was homeless. I had nothing. I had just lost everything I had. And I cried out to God and I said, what is it, out of frustration? And I said, what is it that you want me to do? Because I think I have done everything. I've done everything I know. I've done everything I've learned. What is it now that I need to do? And God said, go back to the vision I gave you in 2017. And I said, but you know, because I went for funding, I did this, I brought all the things that, you know, I knew. And God said, I didn't tell you that you needed money to start this business. You needed me. I had to humble you. I had to put you in your place, and you need to seek my guidance in every step of the business. I started even praying to God for provision to even start and buy empty bottles. God being God and God being faithful, He gave me provision. When I started my business, beginning of this year, with nothing, homeless, I didn't even have a home. I started with 500 Rand. I went and bought empty bottles and I put them here on the altar and I prayed and I said, God, what do I do with these bottles? This is the vision you gave me, but what do I do? And when I started praying and I started declaring that you are also going to bring the people that need this business. You are also going to bring the people that this business is going to empower. You are also going to bring the clients. You know, if I can tell you story after a story each and every day in my business today, it is God. It can only be God. It's not my wisdom. It's not my understanding. It's not my experience. It's not anything I've known before, because I'm also, like, even last night I was saying to the group, hey guys, sorry to speak in Xhosa, but I'll try and translate it. I was even saying to them, like, I've been saying, wow. Every day is like, there is a big wow. There is a big wow. But this came from a place of being passionate about helping others succeed in life, being passionate about helping someone, not just with words, not just when someone is hungry or someone is without clothes and say, God will bless you, but being the blessing myself. That's one of the things that has helped me to become profitable in what I am doing today, because I am seeing the hand of God in the business. I am seeing purpose fulfilled. I'm seeing a lot of things. I'm just sorry, I'm talking out of place because I'm just too excited. And these women that have spoken, they really touched my heart deeply, and I resonated with everything that they say. So if I may say anything to anyone out there about overcoming fear and taking action, you don't need to be prepared. You don't need to be qualified. You don't need to know everything, like you said. You can even ask, ask from people. People will tell you. So you just need to overcome your fear by letting it go. If it's gripping you, if it has a grip or a hold over you, just let it go. If you have to speak words, declare that fear, you have no hold over me. I'm one person, sorry, I come from the villages. I'm a village girl by heart and soul, everything. I was raised in the village by powerful, strong women, if you were around them, you would know that fear does not exist. They never feared anything. So fear, it's really nothing. It's just an idea. It's just an idea that is planted in our minds by the enemy of our souls, so that we do not get to the promised land that God has promised us that we will get into, because all of us, and we think that also greatness or prosperity and all those things, it's money or it's physical things. No, it's not. Even just being you, your authentic self, being a better person, a better human being, a healed person, that's riches, that's wealth, that's everything that you need. So with all these words, I would really love to say that I am really deeply humbled, and I'm really so honored, and I'm so grateful to have been part of this beautiful platform surrounded by such wonderful, amazing women that are, I believe, out there doing great things and making a positive difference in the world. And also, of course, our host, our beautiful host with the most beautiful heart, Usanele. Thank you so much for hosting us, for bringing us together in this platform. Oh, and I see my other dear sister. I see her now on the video, Jackie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this platform and with all those words. And I hope that you have a wonderful, blessed Women's Day, all of you women. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Coach Mandy. I'm just thinking now that I didn't do this event justice, because we could actually have taken, because we are in our homes, right? So we could have actually maybe taken 3 hours, maybe even take a break and come back, because the conversations are so amazing and so incredible. I wanted to share that when I actually, in my mind, I thought when we start, I'm going to read the scripture, Matthew 25, which is the parable of the talents, right? And but looking at the time, and then I thought, okay, no, it's fine. I can just maybe share perhaps later in the event, because that is one thing that the Holy Spirit reveals to me last week. And that, God actually just wants our talents. He wants us to trust him and bring our talents to him. Then he's the actually person who's going to make it all come together and make it all work out. Because sometimes we work so hard in our own strength. We start businesses, and then business, it's not going the way that you want. And you spend so much time and you're not still seeing profits. It's still not seeing, like, I'm working so hard, but I'm still struggling. I'm still, every month, I'm still, trying to figure out. But I realized when I read it last month, and I said, you know what, if you can be in a position to give God everything, the talents, when I read it's in Matthew 25, please ladies, just read it after this, because for me, really, it is the takeaway. So I like how you're coming in, Mandy, because you are actually showing us that if I had started with the scripture, and then you come in now and say what you would see, that it's all coming together, because we do get scared to give everything to God. And, especially when you're a woman of faith, it's difficult, because it's impossible to please God without faith. But then when you open the fridge and there's no food and bills are coming in, then it's like you feel like you need to do something. Like you're not going to sit and wait for God and be like praying. You feel like I need to do something. And then you end up working on your own strength instead of trusting God that he's actually going to, whatever talent that he's given us, that when we use that talent and put it all to him, he's actually the one that's going to make the way. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. Okay, please, we're running out of time. We have 2 more speakers. Maybe perhaps I'll just wait with the song. Just ask Homoto to speak, and then after Sis Homoto, and then it's going to be Sis Cheki. And then if there is some time and you are enjoying the music, then because I also even have spoken about more for women. But I love it, because there's always another time. Even next week, you can schedule another call and join in. I mean, why not? After this, this is launching something incredible, and I'm really so excited and so thankful. Sis Homoto, please, you can unmute and introduce yourself and share the words of wisdom that you have for us today. Thank you.
Good morning, beautiful queens. Thank you, Sanele, for this incredible platform that you've created for us ladies to actually come and connect. My job today is quite easy. So I'm Komoto Masela, the founder of Spicy Luscious, and I'm an intimacy coach and I advocate for women's confidence. So today I'm just going to talk about sexual wellness and intimacy tools to actually build the confidence that we women need to have. So I wanted to talk about sexual wellness on a deeper level, how to break the myths that we have around sexual wellness, and basically how we can restore our confidence in a spicy way, of course. So before we actually dig deep into the conversation, I just want to understand where you are, what How are you feeling when the word comes up to mind, sexual wellness comes to mind? Are you curious? Are you empowered? Ready to learn? Do you feel confident? I don't know. I think you can just unmute. Maybe Sanel, you can just tell us how is your mood like when it comes to sexual wellness right now?
Okay, let me say that one of the reasons why I also brought you into the panel is because I feel that when we're saying a holistic, we really need to be holistic. We've already covered beauty, we've already covered fashion, and we've covered mental health, we're covering healing. But also as a woman, there are some of those topics in terms of intimacy, that we get shy to speak about. And I thought it's good to bring you in the panel so that we can make sure that after this event, we are wholesome in every way that is possible. And, I feel that it's something that is very important in terms of a woman's life. And, but we hardly talk about it. And for me, I must say that I was excited. I'm excited to hear. And, because like I said, that it's, we must be holistic. When we talk about holistic beauty, we must touch on every topic, on every subject. You're already talking about, losing weight with Dr. saying, maybe some surgery or whatever, if that's what you need to be the best version of yourself. Healing, we've already covered that. Mental health, beauty, still didn't talk about the relationship coach, but obviously because of the time. But let's make sure that we are able to cover all topics. And this is our day. And after this, you must be the best version of ourselves. Thank you.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you, Sanele. So at Spicy Lashes, sexual wellness is not just about sex. I know when we talk about sexual wellness, people just think it's sex. And it's actually beyond that. It's about your whole health as a woman, your body, your mind, your emotions, and obviously your relationship. And many of us grew up in a culture where we didn't talk about these things openly. We learned to whisper about periods, hide our bodies, and avoid the pleasure conversations. But we've also learned that silence doesn't always protect us. Instead, it limits us and what we could potentially learn about it. So the first myth that often comes to mind is sexual wellness is only important if you're in a relationship. Is that what people think, right? And that is not true, because it's about health. When we talk of sexual health, we're talking about creating boundaries in your relationships. We're talking about pleasure and your well-being, and actually understanding what pleasure really means to you, not what society dictates that pleasure should be. Another myth that we often come across is talking about sex is inappropriate. Well, as Spicy Lashes, we believe talking about sex is talking about health. As I said, it's about boundaries. Another myth that we have is after menopause, your sexual pleasure declines. I know a lot of ladies think that menopause, I don't have, my libido is not boosted, this and that. And I mean, that's also not true. With the right information and the right tools, you can actually change your mindset, and your intimacy can even be more fulfilling later in life if you just know and investigate on how you can do it. Another myth that we have is that during intimacy, pain is normal. You're bound to feel pain. And that is also not true. If you do feel pain, it's a sign that you need to consult with your doctor because something is not right. If you do feel pain, maybe it could be because the vaginal walls are tearing. All you need is a lubricant. So we need to learn these things and not just put shame around it. I'm sure we've also heard a lot of myths when it comes to sex. If you do have myths that you want to share, please do drop them in the chat so that we can see how we can navigate through them. So what we do at Spicy Lashes is we teach women about self-care, and that includes intimate self-care. And here are the few tips that I can give you ladies to share as we progress in this conversation. Regular checkups, don't skip going to your gynecologist. It's very important. They say you must visit your gynecologist at least once or twice a year, to do your breast exams. And, as they say, prevention is definitely better than cure. Prevention is empowerment. Secondly, you must know your body. Use a mirror to look at yourself, learn your anatomy and what makes you feel good. Because once you know yourself and you're confident in yourself, it's easier now to communicate it to your partner. And it's also easier for you to own yourself and know what really does satisfy you and make you happy. Another thing is the pelvic floor health. You can do your vaginal exercises by doing your Kegel exercises. For those that don't know what Kegel exercises is, when you exercise your vaginal muscles by clenching and releasing. You can actually do that as we listen throughout the conversation. Just clench and then you release. You clench and you release. The more you do this, it tightens your vagina and brings back that elasticity of your natural elasticity of your vagina. And it also helps you be able to control your bladder, so that you're not that person when you sneeze and suddenly pee comes out. So doing pelvic exercise is also one of the tools that you can actually take. Another one is to use quality products. Invest in good lubricants so that you can enjoy intimacy well. Use massage oils to enhance intimacy. That's good in your relationship. You can ask your partner to massage you. Also get used to massaging yourself. Go to spas and just take care of yourself. And once you know what makes you happy, you can communicate it to your partner in a good way. You can also, if you want to build desire for yourself, you can also eat the right foods. The right foods would be your chocolates, your avocados, your berries, your nuts. I mean, all these foods actually balance your pH and make sure that you are healthy down there. So when it comes to restoring your confidence comes from knowing yourself, knowing what pleasures you, knowing that you respect yourself, and finding joy in the things that make you happy. So I use 3 E's when it comes to building your confidence: education, exploration, and expression. Education, when you know better, you do better. So do your research on what makes you happy. Exploration, be open to trying new ways of connecting with yourself. Not what society dictates things to be, but what makes you happy as a person. Expression, speak your truth without fear or apology, because it is your life at the end of the day. And your body is not a burden. It is a gift. It's your voice. It's a gift. Your voice is not too loud. It actually is necessary. So today I want you ladies to make a promise to yourself that I will no longer be silent about my sexual wellness, my needs, or my confidence. So if you're ready to take this conversation further, you can follow us on our social media platforms, Spicy Lashes. You can also book a one-on-one session with me if you'd want to explore more. And yes, I'm available for question and answers after this session. And the last verse that I want to leave you with is, when women own their sexual wellness, that's when they own their power as well. So thank you, ladies. Remember that you are worthy, you are whole, and you are powerful. And I can't wait to keep the conversation flowing with you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. And I don't know if I'm being biased, but I think sometimes also when your sexual health or sexual life is good, you actually walk with confidence, like even when you come to the office, everybody's like, oh, you're glowing. I think it's glowing. This is basically. I just want to touch in before we move on to Sis Jackie that, for me, I actually learned Kegels, I think that maybe 2 years ago. I just turned 40 this year. It's not a conversation that I've had, but I can see that it's very important because as you get older, sometimes maybe you're rushing we have to pee, you have to rush to the bathroom, and things like that. I've maybe, like most of my children, actually, all my children, I had cesarean. But I realized that other people that maybe had natural birth, it also becomes a bit of a problem. And like, those are things that we should be able to teach each other. Like, in my life, I'm learning about Kegels now. Like, how come I've never known about it before? Because maybe I could have been doing it all the time. So thank you so much for sharing.
And
Sorry?
That's why I'm so grateful for such platforms, because we don't openly talk about these things and we just hear it from friends. Sometimes it's not facts. There's no way to verify whether this is true or it's not. So the more we have such conversations, the more we actually learn and grow.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sis Jackie,
Sanele, you muted.
oh, sorry. Sorry. I was thinking that most of, because I did it in the registration form, I actually wrote like what are people most excited about so that I can see like how to direct the conversation. But number one was that people they are here for the speakers. So they definitely wanted to hear what you guys have to say. And I think at least 3 people were asking me and confirming that is Jackie gonna be there? Is this Jackie gonna be there? So I think you're quite popular with the ladies, but I'm sure also it's because of the achievement that you've done. I mean, you've mentored me for a long time, and I've seen you grow from strength to strength. And I mean, the impacts that you really have done, breaking boundaries. First president in the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce after 129 years, so you've really broken boundaries, and we really admire you and look up to you. And thank you so much for agreeing to be our keynote speaker today. And let me pass the mic and let you motivate us and share what you've prepared for us today. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Sanele, and all the beautiful and inspirational ladies that came before me. As I was listening to everyone, I just thought, Haibo, what can I say? There's nothing more that can actually be said. And I was so happy, Sanele, to note that even the topic that we had decided upon between ourselves really is something that I think would be a very good closure in terms of this event, because the topics have been weaved in together so well, and it can only be God-inspired, because it's absolutely amazing. I was even sending Sanela a message during the session, and I said, what inspirational women. And as we all know, with Women's Month now, a person's going from one event to the other. And there was a time when I was actually fatigued. And I'm sure many of you also went through that, where you said, I'm so fatigued of all these women events. We hear the same thing. We hear the same promises, that are not fulfilled. And, it's like Einstein says, we do the same thing expecting different results. And with me, as I'm pushing towards my 60s now, I find that the conversations haven't really evolved. I was saying to someone, you could use the same topic, and put it 10 years before. And even maybe Adila, you can even confirm some of this stuff, because a lot of the conversations are also tick box exercises. So when someone speaks, it's about, does it speak to my KPIs? Does it speak to my KPAs? And not really changing the conversation with the times and the challenges at hand. So the one thing I can say is that just as a starting point, and also acknowledging all the beautiful pearls of wisdom that have come through, is that there's actually a movement. There's an underground movement of women, because this is the time for women. This is the time for women to lead. And there's a movement of purpose-driven and God-fearing daughters. And I was saying to someone yesterday when I was being interviewed as well, and I said, this is a movement where we now begin to embrace platforms unapologetically, affirming who we are in our Father's eyes. And for me, that is something so profound, because what it then says that God has called us to now start developing and growing and building kingdom-led businesses. Because everything else that has been done is failing us. So, this is now the time for us to rise as the Esthers, the Ruths, the Marys, the Deborahs of this time, and to take our place in beginning to define, redefine, inform, and own, our narrative as women, children, and daughters of God. So I just wanted to maybe kickstart with that, and also to say that, the one thing I pick up with women as well, there was something someone said, I think it was you, my homegirl, Manda. You said about how fear is also planted by the enemy. Yeah. Now, when you said that, I went back to the tongue. And Adila also mentioned something around words. And I think we need to be conscious about what we also say. It's very important. And specifically around supporting this thinking process or this thought process that as women, we don't support each other. Because remember, that tongue reinforces the destruction and enables the destruction in terms of even when we engage as women. Top of mind is that, yo, Amanda has one supporter, or Amanda is jealous of me, or all those kind of things. I need, even as women, consciously, we need to take ownership and change that narrative. Yeah, because you don't find men ever saying things like that. That is the one thing you never. And they also do that to themselves, you know. But they never say it. Why are we so public about it? And why do we allow the devil to continue using us as women to perpetuate that narrative? We need to stop it. Yeah, and we need to turn it where instead of focusing on the negative, you start referencing and saying, you know, Adila helped me in such and such a thing. Oh, Amanda did this, and leave and shift the negative into positive. The other thing also that was also very interesting, you know these questions that they keep on asking, because, you know, I've been around now for over 30 years, type of thing in terms of the space. And they keep on asking you, what is the message to people, you know, in terms of women? Yeah, and someone mentioned something, and I think it was Yusu. You spoke about self-awareness. You spoke about self-respect, and you also spoke about the whole thing about taking ownership of self. We cannot control what someone else does, how they react, and how they respond to certain things. What we need to do is to start pushing people towards self-introspection, self-appreciation, self-valuation, because that informs how they react and respond to everything else externally, including women. You know, so we need to start working on self, and we don't spend time. We are always so busy, you know. You're busy trying to pay the bills, then you are busy trying to sort out your family and all that kind of stuff. But we need to start getting people to get to a self-consciousness level where they start taking ownership of their actions, because it's those actions that then inform what happens in society at large. Broken people, yeah. As we know, God uses broken vessels to bring light to the world. And I was very inspired when, Amanda, you're also so authentic and open in terms of your challenges. Because a lot of people don't speak about that, you know. You'll just say, oh, I'm a successful businesswoman. They'll speak about their challenges and failures, maybe 1% of the speech, and then it focuses on something else. I'm also noticing that there's a shift in terms of us beginning to have more authentic conversations. You know, yesterday, someone was even talking about, and this is someone who even won an award, and she was just sharing how she suffers from depression, how she suffers from anxiety, you know. And these are not the type of conversations we used to be open about, you know, because you have this public, you've created a public perception in terms of success, you then keep your private challenges to yourself, because sometimes, depending on the emotional EQ as well, you know, you are maybe fearful that people will see you as being weaker, where in actual fact these days vulnerability is an asset. Yeah. So I just wanted to also maybe speak about that. And then I wanted to say, before I go into what I'm supposed to be talking about, I also wanted to say the one thing Umtu has also realized is when things become tough, and they do, you know, you let go and you let God, and you'll be amazed how he comes through for you. So having said that as an intro, oh, and then I must acknowledge Sanela as well, of course, more for women, and also this amazing engagement today where we celebrate your successes, Sanela. We know that it has been challenging, but as I said in my message as well, as God does not give a seed or a vision that he cannot support, and his timing is always perfect. And with anything in life, they always say there are seasons, and your business too will go through seasons. And we're looking forward to celebrating more for Africa, even more for women in the next 10, 20, 30 years, and then seeing your daughters and your children take it over. And that is the conversation that I am going to be focusing on today, is about how do we shift from just being entrepreneurs, but as women, become wealth creators, builders of legacy businesses, not only for ourselves, but future generations as well. So let me go into my well-prepared speech. So just please do humor me as I read my speech as well. Thanks. So, firstly, as I said, honorable guests, esteemed business leaders, beautiful women of our land, and young queens of tomorrow. Good morning and happy Women's Day. Today we gather not only in celebration, but in deep remembrance, in honor and in commitment. We remember the women of 1956 who carried more than petitions to the union buildings. They carried the dreams of generations. They marched not just against unjust laws, but towards a vision of dignity, equality, and self-determination. In their quiet defiance, in their powerful unity, they gave birth to the possibilities of us, women who are free to lead, to create, to trade, and to build. We celebrate the women of today, the modern warriors who wake up every day to pursue dreams in boardrooms, in classrooms, in communities, kitchens, and in corner stalls. You are the bridge between what was fought for and what must still be achieved. You are the stewards of our collective economic emancipation. But let us be clear, celebration without strategy is sentiment. We must therefore ask ourselves, what are we doing with the baton passed down to us? We must begin to look beyond survivalist businesses and start building legacy enterprises. Our economic participation must be deliberate, intentional, and generational. We are not just building brands. We are birthing ecosystems. Our businesses must become vehicles for intergenerational wealth. Let us therefore reposition our thinking. We must stop asking, how do I make it to month end? And start asking, what will I leave behind for those who come after me? We need to stop merely hoping for success and start engineering sustainability. Let me give you a simple example, but it's very profound. I'm sure you're all well aware of the Rothschild family. What they did was not magic, it was intention. They ensured that every member of their family was not only involved in the business, but was insured in the event of death. The insurance payout didn't go to handbags or funerals. They were systematically channeled into the family trust, which became a financial reservoir for generations to come. It was smart, it was simple, it was structured, and it worked. Today, this family controls the economy of the world. Now, imagine the power if even a fraction of us here today began to think in that way, to ensure ourselves and each other, to pool resources, to form family and community trusts, and to fund our children's futures with the strength of our today. It starts with us, and it starts right now. Let us declare that legacy is no longer a luxury, it is a responsibility. And it is time to incubate a new future for our daughters, our nieces, the unborn generations whose dreams rely on the decisions we make today. We must develop a deliberate plan of action, which includes a mindset shift, where we educate ourselves and our communities on wealth beyond income, trusts, insurances, ownership, and asset preservation. We need to start looking at how we structure our businesses. We need to formalize, ensure, and professionalize our businesses to outlive us. Collaborative funding, establish networks and funds rooted in collective growth, not just for competition. Policy influence. We need to demand an enabling legislation and government support to make legacy building easier for women-owned businesses. And finally, we need to resource the vision. We need to allocate budgets, time, and mentorship to this mission. Let us not be afraid to put money behind the things we say we value. But if we do not resource our dreams, they remain just that, dreams. So let us stand together today with the spirit of 1956 in our hearts and the boldness of the present in our hands, and with a vision for the future in our minds. Let us not only raise daughters who can dream, but who inherit enterprises, land, trusts, and blueprints. Let this Women's Day be the one where we shift from surviving to strategizing, from hustling to harvesting, from lone struggles to legacy systems. The future is not something we wait for. It is something we build. So let us build. Thank you so much. And once again, happy Women's Day. Thank you, Sanele.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jackie. I was like writing the notes, like my pen was going like it's going so fast. But we've recorded the session, so we can get a chance. But please, just there at the end, when you spoke about the that the survival, the trust, right, and the shift, mindset shift. You said something like, let's not survival, instead of survival, let's do what? If you can repeat that part, and not hustle. Yeah. So instead of surviving, what must...
I'll send a copy of the speech as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I felt like that's like true, because we are hustling. We feel like every day we have to do something, and we're just seeming to be hustling and maybe not seeing ourselves moving forward. But I like what you're saying now, because it actually shows that if we cannot also expect things to remain the same, most of us, or most of the time, when I'm talking about my time, my family, most of the people from my family were teachers, and my mom and I were the odd one out who wanted to do things differently. And now I'm into business, and I'm working hard in this business, celebrating 5 years for More for Women. And it's not easy. So I asked Ken the other time, I was like, how long, maybe when we realize that this thing is not happening, should we just, call it quits, because it's been really so challenging, and it's got its ups and downs. And at some stage I was like, maybe I mustn't really focus on women empowerment. Maybe I must focus on young girls, groom them when they're young, so that they don't make the same mistakes as we did. And Ken is like, no, there's no way that you are giving up on More for Women. There's no way that you have been passionate about women empowerment ever since I've known you. And so actually it was those mindset that coming to my mind that women don't support each other, women, saying all these negative things without realizing that saying them coming out of my mouth, I'm actually creating it. And that's what I'm receiving and I'm feeling, because that's what I'm saying. And so mind shift is definitely very important. And then also when you spoke about structuring our business for the legacy, to our children. I've worked hard with More for Women, and maybe who knows, in the next 10 years we're gonna be a unicorn. Everybody will be like, whoa, More for Women, and then but I'm not taking my children along with me in the journey, so that also they too, when I'm not gone, when I'm gone and I'm not here in this world, that they also understand that this was just not maybe my vision that God gave me 25 years ago. And thank you, yes, it's been 5 years now since we've launched and live, but that it's not for me, it's for my community, it's for you guys, and it's for it cannot just end with me. That what I've started in my family, my daughter must carry on the baton and carry it forward. Because look at the platform it is created. Look at us here today, that we're able to get and benefit from each other. And one of the things that I love about More for Women is the fact that it's online. Everything, the events are online, the shopping is online. It makes it easy and convenient that you can do it at your own time, at your own pace. And you don't have to worry about, especially now with the events that are happening, maybe the price ticket is also high, and then you also have to worry about what you're going to wear, then you have to do your hair, your makeup, all those unnecessary things, sometimes that we focus on instead of focusing on the conversation. So I'm really just so excited and so blessed seeing how today has turned out. I really think that I didn't do justice, maybe 3 hours in between, because I do have the song. Maybe the person can get up, drink some water, or get something to freshen. And so yes, you can watch and just close the video and eat, but get that information, be inspired. And really, I hope that everybody who's joined today was uplifted and absolutely enjoyed the session as I did. And I think let's open it up to questions. And because that we are now 17 minutes past 12, and we're supposed to finish at 12 o'clock, but let's, since we are online, if there's anybody with a question or insights or just thank you words, I think it's fair for me to open the platform to everyone to say a few words, and maybe how this experience has touched them and what they would like to see moving forward. But thank you so much, Jackie, for, I think for me, I needed that nugget to see that this is not only for me, it's about the legacy that I'm leaving behind. It's about my family benefiting and becoming one of those families that from my works is being able to be extended. And maybe also even now I'm thinking about, like, all of us, then we must go to our drawing boards and think, okay, I've started, because we're all entrepreneurs here, I've started this business, how then do I make sure that it doesn't end with me? Maybe it was, the passion began with me, but it can, somebody else in our own families can take this, nieces, nephews, just think beyond ourselves now and think that who can I bring along into the business, so that we can make sure and ensure that the businesses that we start now are legacy building. And you look at us, also even women, what we've been able to achieve, CEOs, which is actually have never been heard of in history. So us women right now, we're living in a time that has been really God ordained to make changes, to make differences in our community. So with that, maybe I can just start, maybe you can start with Dr. Singh and just go down the list, and then maybe open to the public. But otherwise, also maybe people can also just maybe assist me by checking in the chat, so that we can make sure that all questions are answered. And I've also let the audience also unmute. So Dr. Singh, your parting words.
I must say, wow. Really, I was wondering how is this going to work, because we always do medical conferences and it's like sharing scientific info when we're following slides. And I'm thinking, okay, now we need to look good and we need to speak well. And how is this new platform? So I was a bit anxious, I must say. But well done, Sanele. It was really, really excellent. Your speakers were great. Everyone gave me something to go home with. And not least said for Jackie, you were totally inspirational. It really makes me think that legacy is so important. I'm crouching onto my 60s also soon. And we like, should we retire? When do we retire? But it's not about us. It's about what we leave behind. And yes, we struggle with that, because I don't have any doctors as my offspring. But yeah, I think as women, we must come together and maybe strategize. How do we do this? I mean, can't we have a Rothschilds Association? Multiple of us together and see how do we leave a legacy for communities of women. So yes, well done, everyone. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. It was really time well spent.
The thing that I don't think that maybe also don't look at it in terms of that you do not have sons. I mean, you don't have daughters, because let's include everybody, sons and daughters. Let's not leave anyone behind, because if you were to open now a silhouette clinic around the country, the sons could run it and make sure that it's happening the way.
I don't have doctors as offspring. So my kids are lawyers and engineers. So I don't have a doctor to hand over my clinic to. So yes, I wish but maybe we'll have to strategize. So I'm very open to the men. No, we don't leave them behind.
Okay, thank you. I definitely onto that. Maybe also find somebody that you can mentor, that can move it forward, so that 20 years, 30 years, your name is left there, legacy. I just remembered something also that I wanted to share when Jackie said, with the Esthers, with the roots of this time. I just recently started a podcast where we're looking at 50 women of the Bible that changed everything. Wow, let me tell you guys, it's been so amazing to discover and seeing that women actually played a very big role in the Bible, but they don't really talk about it much. And so I just remembered that part from my notes. Adila, are you 10?
Super stuff. Thank you so much, Sanele. Absolute kudos to you and to each and every lady that has spoken today. It's really been so wonderful. The inspirations, the wisdom that has come out of this. And I think also the ability that we can connect, no matter which religion, race or culture, for me, it is, I see each and every one of you as a soul. And that's for me a soul's tribe, a soul's connection. So it's just been so wonderful to hear from everybody, to take from everybody, oh, this and that, and oh yeah, I should do this. It's just been a consciousness of information and leadership, and to be able to share this with the other people that have joined that may not have been a speaker. I mean, we are touching everybody's lives through this process. So, Sanele, kudos to you. Well done. Please let us keep doing this type of thing. I think there's a lot of people that benefit from the online platform as well. It's much needed. And thank you so much. And just very briefly, I know in my talk I said a little bit about myself, so I'm going to be very brief. I'm a traditional doctor in ethnopsychology, like I said, specializing in hypnotherapy. And I see in the chat people are asking for the social media handles. I'll be very brief. My website is www.phoenix-life.co.za. My Instagram account is at Phoenix_life_. _improvement. And if you want my Facebook business page, the handle goes under phoenix.life.improvement. So yes, please do feel free to reach out, but I'm looking forward to connect with each and every one of you. I'm absolutely taken aback. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, Adila. What I'll do is I'm gonna get all the speakers' social media handles, and maybe some of you, if you want to share the speech, maybe there's some things you didn't get a chance to say, then I'll send it out to all the RSVPs in the middle of next week. Thank you. And then Stu, you can say your departing words.
Thank you so much. Really, this has been such a privilege. I have found myself a mentor. Jackie Lutuli, I'm coming to you. I'm right under your wing. I'm coming for hypnotherapy to Adelia, please. And when I start calling you, don't now ghost me, because I am seriously. No. Dr. Singh, I'm on a weight loss journey, so maybe your appointment with me is starting from this Monday. This has been so personal. I came in as a speaker, but oh my gosh, it's like God has directed my path, my destiny, and you know what that means? It means it's for me. It means it's for everybody in my tribe. It means I'm going to be communicating this message with so many people. It's been such an honor. I am a relationship coach, and now we've got Okamoto who's talking about sexual intimacy. Not only am I going to benefit, my clients are also going to benefit. Oh, I'm so excited! Thank you so much for this platform. I feel there is an injustice that a whole lot of people, I just wish the entire world, all the women of South Africa would be in this platform today. So much wisdom, so much knowledge, such incredible and inspiring women. I want, to be like everybody here. I have been so inspired and empowered, and I just wanted to say thank you for having the right woman for our benefits, who's going to change destinies and lives. And also just to be associated with everybody here, it is truly an honor. Thank you so much. And ladies, me and you are best friends from today. You'll be hearing from Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And just this in Zulu, they say "Intemnandi aphiwe," which means that if something is nice, you can repeat it again. So I'm definitely feeling like another one has to happen soon, Deborah. Hi, Sid. Are you here? Okay, let's move on to Homoto.
Hi, Sanele, this was totally amazing. I love the sisterhood. I love the connections that we've created, the information that we've learned, and for the fact that you made it to be a webinar, which is open for everyone to join. I think that was very epic. But next time, I think we need a face-to-face session where we can actually have more time to engage more and just have more time, man. This was very educational, and I like the fact that when women rise, we get a better a community. So yeah, let's continue to spice things up. Let's have an open mind when you go through life and in everything. And ladies, please drop your social media handles so that we can continue this sisterhood and support each other the best way that we can. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I guess you can write them on the chat as well. I love that. And me and Coach Mandy, Dr. Amanda, we might be cooking something which is in person, but I'll definitely let you know. And then who do I have left? It's you, Dr. Amanda. You next.
Yes. Once again, thank you so much for a wonderful and a beautiful platform, Sanele. And I'll just part with these words, which I always say whenever I'm given an opportunity to speak amongst women or with women or to women, that let us be intentional as women not to hotspot hate, because, the enemy is sent specifically to women, to divide women, because he knows that the purpose that God designed a woman for is greater than what God designed men for. So the enemy, that is why he approached the woman in the first place. So he lives amongst us every single day. And if we are intentional, which is what I always say, don't engage. If it doesn't build you, don't even participate. If there's gossip, remove yourself. Anything that does not build you up as a woman, don't participate. So if we can be intentional about that as women, would stop hotspotting hate or being anti-women and anti each other, and we'll start embracing each other with our uniqueness and our differences, and love each other the way God sees us. So for me, as we go out there as women, if we can embrace this energy, this spirit that is here amongst us, and take it out there, and not only be occasional when we are gathered and we are feeling excited and happy, but let it be our lifestyle, our everyday life, mentality and so forth. So, but thank you so much. And of course, I'm so happy to have connected with Umam Jeki. Oh, I love that. But, and yeah, I really also cannot wait for our live in-person meetup. I think it's going to be fantastic. And yeah, thank you so much. A blessed day to you all.
Okay. Sis Jeki, the last words that you want to leave with us.
I can never have last words. Yeah. But let's hope it's the beginning of a sustained conversation. But the conversation needs to be inclusive. And when I say inclusive, yes, we speak about the younger girls, but let's be intentional about it. There are some real social ills that are happening that are affecting not even young girls now. I mean, it is something else, even toddlers. I mean, it's just shocking what is currently happening in society. We also need to make sure that we're intentional in terms of including boys into our conversations and engagements. And I've challenged people to say, even when you have events, let at least 10 to 20% of the audience be youth, not only youth, but also, young boys and girls, so that they are part of this conversation. And most importantly, men. We have, as I said, we have a broken society. That means we have broken men and women. We need to start looking at how we start bringing men into these conversations, because we cannot achieve this without them. We need to acknowledge their contributions and their role in society and respect that as well. And for me, it then also gives me the opportunity to, on behalf of everyone that's here, and on behalf of Sanele, to also extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude, admiration to her husband, Ken. Ken is truly a pillar to Sanele, and she's really very fortunate to have a God-fearing and supportive man like her in her life. So I just want to leave it at that for now, to say that let's make sure that our conversations are inclusive. Let's make sure that our conversations are intentional. But let's also set milestones for ourselves. And let's begin to monitor, track, and evaluate our performances against those milestones. And let's own our narrative. The one thing I always say, even in terms of when we are dealing with the issues that we're currently lobbying for in government, etc., it's always within a prescript that has already been set by men, actually. And I'm appreciating some of the good work that has been done in terms of even policy development. Like, I'm not quite sure whether people are aware that we have now successfully advocated and lobbied for 40% of government procurement to be ring-fenced for women-owned businesses. However, how do we take it from just policy into action? And for me, when even they speak about 2063, Agenda 2063, at least with G20, there is a strong voice for women, but we need to start becoming more active. We need to become active participants in defining our own narrative and our own future. Because if I ask you, for example, what is our 10, 20, 30, 50-year plan as women? What is it? Yeah. So how do we then even begin to measure our progress? If we have not, we as a collective, as women, we have created as our own Women Vision 2063, you know? So I also just want to leave that as a thought process for us also as we are building legacies. We know the context and the background against which we are building those. But I thank you, and let everyone have a blessed Women's Day, and let everyone also have a blessed Women's Month.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister Jackie. I see Sipogazi Mtukwini, Rosetta Klava. Thank you guys for joining. Bridget Masemola, Mbokolo, and Mbokolo Shumpa. Do you guys want to just unmute and say hi? Maybe let's give it 2 minutes and then.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for the webinar. I'm really empowered. Sister Jackie, thank you so much. I got the invite through your WhatsApp group. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, okay, anybody else?
Good day, everybody. I'm grateful to be here. I see all ladies are dressed up. Let me just show my face. I'm very happy to be attending this conference. Let me just show my face. How do video unmute? Yes, this is how I look. I'm attending the conference. I'm very pleased that I'm attending my conference, bathing, waking up. I'm in the conference. You know, I didn't miss anything. I'm very happy for this online opportunity. It's a world, this is like a different world for me. I'm in Gqeberha. I'm a Sanlam financial advisor. And just to see the website, I'm an empowered woman. I love the network that you have opened for me. And thank you so much. I'm happy that today I didn't have to dress up and put makeup. I'm in.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Praise God. Thank you so much. Yeah, and basically that's what More for Women is about. You know, the digital economy, where now we're not able to be, you know, because also if the conference was in Johannesburg, maybe you might not be able to join, right? Because you're in Durban, you're in Cape Town, but it gives us that opportunity for us to all connect in our different locations, and you know, and then she just said now, not having to worry about, oh my God, I have to go to this conference and I have to look good. You can just tune in and just receive from this amazing moment. So thank you so much. I'm going to play one last song as we exit. I had two. I had one which was Alicia Keys, which is Superwoman. Everybody knows that song. But there's a new song by Celine Dion and Rihanna, which when I listened to, I was like, wow, this is so strong. This is hitting. And it's called I'm Strong by Rihanna and Rihanna and Celine Dion. And I hope it inspires you, and enjoy the rest of the day. Happy Women's Month, and I love you guys. I can't wait for us to have this session again.
Thank you so much, Sinele.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, Sanila. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was broken, I was fading, shadows dancing on the wall. Felt like no one heard me praying, but I kept rising through it all. They tried to steal my fire, but I kept it deep inside. Every scar acquired, that seems you're still alive. I am strong, I won't fall, even with my back against the wall. Hear my voice, hear my soul. Through the storm, I still belong. I am strong. I am strong. I've cried in silence, held the pain when the lights went cold and dim. But a whisper in the rain told me this is not the end. And you are more than all the hurt, I am more than what they say. Every heartbeat is a verse, every tear led my way. I am strong, I won't break. Every flow is just a step I take. I am fire, I am flame. You can't erase my name. I am strong. I am strong, I won't break. Every fall is just a step I take. I am fire, I am flame. You can't erase my name. I am strong.
Thank you everyone. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of the day. Happy Women's Day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.